Extraction 2 dropped on the weekend.
Mm.
Big old sequel to the original Netflix hit Extraction starring Chris Hemsworth.
Mm-hmm.
I was devoured this movie twice. Pause. I will never say devour ever again. I just liked it. I liked this
Yeah.
movie. I watched it twice because the first time was a little bit jarring for a no, and I found it hard to kind of get into the video game style cinematography that was going on.
Mm.
I feel like this franchise sits in between like the Raid and John Wick in terms of its style,
Mhm.
and like at times it wants to be the Raid, and at times with its set pieces it wants to be John Wick. Um, I don't think it hits and apes any of those, and it's trying to find its own sort of footing. I feel, and I just like in this one, it was almost about creating that legend that is Tyler Rake
Yeah.
with Chris Hemsworth. Um,
The Butcher of
and
Mumbai.
yeah, the guy that went into Rio and fought two warring gang factions and
Mm.
rescued the mayor or some shit like that. But they heap it on strong.
Mm.
Is I like that for Hemsworth, he tonally stays within that character. He
Mm.
doesn't like jump out and he's like, "Yeah, let's get all the piss cunts." You know what I mean? He doesn't break that mold. He's always like brow heavy, like what's the next thing to do sort of thing when he's on mission.
Yeah.
Um, and this one was about him sort of coming back. So when we see in that trailer, we expected a big old montage and everything,
Mm.
which we got. It wasn't that big, and I think that as as movies kind of go on, they've forgotten how to do the montage.
Oh yeah.
Because with everything, right, a set piece, a montage, whatever, it should always be the protagonist starts, does whatever, comes up against something, has to overcome it, and then
Mm.
succeeds.
Yeah, we
That's
have
like
to
the
see
hero.
him fail.
Yeah. But in this montage, it's like he lifted that fucking rock up in like a day or something like that. There was no passage of time. There was no night training. He didn't work his way up towards something. If you're
Mm.
thinking like, what's like a killer montage, it's Karate Kid or it's Rocky 4.
Yeah.
Like he had to work his ass up that fucking mountain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you can see it. I mean, the John G. Avildsen's did the first Rocky, and he did Karate Kid. You can see those
Yeah.
montages in each of them. He the only person really who does a montage properly,
Mm.
besides Stallone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys like it?
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. I only got to watch it the once. I've been feeling like watching it again though. I wish Netflix would release these movies on disc though.
Same.
Anyway, um, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a bit funny. Like I really had to get used to it at the start. It was like the camera moves were really like it was really following them and all that sort of
Mm.
stuff. It's a different sort of style of camera work.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, admittedly, I would have liked them just to pull back and just show me what Tyler's doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they
I
do that. You can see the action, but
mm. Yeah.
this
But it's jarring
yeah, they wanted
because
it
you
to
can
flow.
see the cuts.
Well,
Is
it's
that why
that
it's
and
jarring?
like the constant flow of it,
Mm.
because it's action. It's not like what's his face like 1917, yeah, where it's
Mm.
constant smooth motion and whatnot following the boys. Um,
Yeah.
no, this is action, so it's got to be like quick and
Yeah.
yeah, very jarring. I
Mm.
enjoyed with the action that we saw. I enjoyed that. It was very gory. It was very
Mm.
violent. It was great. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't like what's his face. Let's just have a 15-minute fight just to have a 15-minute fight. That's not Tyler's sort
Yeah.
of fight style. It's I want
Mm.
to put you down as fast as I can. I enjoy that fight style. It's more realistic for me. It's yeah,
Mm.
more like
Yeah.
UFC and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
yeah, MMA sort of based fighting style.
My favorite kill in the movie is when he hits that O with the weight lockup style. and he just like fucks his shit up, and you like it pans down, you see the face and everything, and then it keeps on like, moving and that. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I like the villain. The villain was really, really cool. I thought that was a good match for Tyler Rake. They did try to humanize the villain.
Yeah.
And try to get you to see it from his perspective, but I never changed my perspective on him, because the next scene was him like, we will kill the children and the mother. It was like,
send location.
Yeah.
I don't care. I come to you. Or we do it in UFC, but send location.
I did want to just like headbutt that Pete Davidson looking little fucker though.
Sandro.
Kid.
Yeah.
Sandro.
Sandro.
Pay.
Fucker.
Sandro's got to know his blood boiling, man.
Sandro gotta go. Sandro's the new Oppum.
Yeah. He even had those like butthole eyes.
Beautiful brown eyes.
Prick.
Yeah. There was yeah, that kid pissed me the fuck off. He's like, I want to be like my father, and then decides to be a bitch instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I definitely agree with like the jarring action scenes. The best example I could think of is, so you know when when he grabs that riot shield, he rips it off that guy. And it almost like it tilts you 180 upwards when he blocks the Molotov like that.
Yeah.
That threw me off. That's the best example I can think of.
Yeah.
When it flicks upwards like that. And even just when he gets hit, when he gets bricked, and then pause, and then he goes down, comes back up, and then he goes into him just like taking out those guys as well. That threw me off.
Trying to
that
think
was
of,
OP.
Yeah.
He was kind of invincible this hour.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Homie didn't give a fuck. He was ready.
He's basically Solid Snake when you think about it. He's Solid Snake that actually gets into shit instead of just sneaking around.
That's
What's his face? I'm trying to think like how did it look on that Apple Vision now? Can you imagine that?
Fuck.
Like, did it be you get motion sickness in the movie?
Yeah.
You might have to just like make that screen a little bit smaller.
Yeah,
maybe just 100-inch.
Pack a sick bag.
You'd walk into me sitting there in the lounge and just vomit around
I
me.
know.
Water.
Just doing those spits.
I just pictured me in the singlet and the undies like Kim Jong-il. I really enjoyed how like you can see that Raid influence though, how they ramp up a lot of the action. So like the train scene, for example, he starts off with the light machine gun and then it like taking out the helicopter, and then it ends with him taking out the helicopter with the fucking minigun.
Yeah. I think I like the first one better.
Yeah, I did too.
The first one feels a lot more organic to me, and just how he does shit on the move. This time he almost had time to prep. He didn't think he was going to be that fucked up in Extraction 1. There was almost had that Die Hard quality to it, where he's sort of behind enemy lines. He's got to sort of work with the environment and move through shit. This was like 3 set pieces that I think the last set piece should have been toned down a fuckload, so that it was more mano a mano, I'm fucking you up, I'm coming for blood sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which I think would have added a lot more to sort of the hero's journey, the payoff at the end, because I wanted to see him really fuck that guy up and not just shoot him in the head. I wanted to see him like, I don't know, maybe thumbs through the eyes or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
well, at least kill him with his hands.
Yeah.
Grab his bottom lip and try fold it underneath his chin or some shit.
My hands.
I do like that they offered that closure to Tyler Rake. by going right that story and that emotional sort of impediment that you had in the first movie about your son and everything, and that's why you're sort of like you're fucked up.
Hmm.
Know what I mean? There's PTSD and there's guilt and everything that kind of goes throughout the whole mission, and that's his connection to the kid. And in this one, it's a connection to the daughter, and the son. They're trying to save that kid was almost like him trying to save his own son in a way, and that was his sort of motivation. They get rid of it in this one, and it's almost like they're gonna turn him into like Mission Impossible. The next one,
It's like
he's just running
Terminator
missions.
now.
Yeah. Like when Idris Elba hits him with the "Do you choose to accept?" and like he's like, "Run it."
No,
You
no.
know, he doesn't say those words, but he wanted to say it.
Yeah. Just once.
Run it, mate.
To say
Can you imagine he just said that shit and he just started actually running away?
Shoot him.
I do like the loyalty that he has with Nick and Yaz as well. That little sort of triumvirate, that was cool too.
Yeah.
Little skin in the game. They didn't like just fuck him over. It wasn't a business transaction or anything. He's actually got people that give a shit about him.
Yeah.
I do find that Nick chick rather attractive, though.
Tell me about it, champion. Wait,
Nick.
don't hit me with that French.
I know.
Little
Don't threaten
French
me
there.
with a good time.
Yeah. S'il vous plaît.
Like she does a lot of roaring in that movie as well.
Yeah.
Those big screams when she was fucking those dudes up in that train.
Yeah. I do like, though, that she wasn't like One Punch Man and just killing us left, right, and center.
Yeah.
It's just like one hit and shit like that. It's like a lot of her moves, because she was smaller, was bodyweight moves.
Yeah.
Or she had to kill him with a knife or a gun or something like that.
It had to be a weapon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is realistic. That's really that's what we want to see. That's it.
Yeah, I don't mind the women's getting into fights and shit like that.
I see it every week on the UFC. Like it's
I
not
like it.
It's not unreal.
I like it. See it every week on Twitter in Waffle House, you know.
I see more women fighting nowadays than men, to be honest. Like those fights is mostly women's.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, definitely check it out. That shit was fire. I liked it. Probably about 15 minutes too long.
Yeah.
Could have just cut out the start bit and just like start off with the prison extraction, to be honest.
And he's back, mate. And
he survived? He survived, Tyler? He's just in the car.
Just have him wash up on the shore, and then the hospital, and then it's just the Idris right in.
But they could have put all those story elements in the middle as well.
Yeah.
After the escape from is it Berlin that they're in? Vienna, I think.
Vienna, yeah.
Yeah. After the escape from there, when they're like sort of held up at that cabin, they could have put all that shit in there and just chopped it up real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Massive shout out to Sony for the invite to Sisu.